The United States and Russia have always been at odds with each other, even before World War II.
Vladimir Putin has launched a major military operation against Ukraine.
The coronavirus outbreak.
Donald Trump.
Russia annexed Crimea.
Osama bin Laden.
The USSR.
Cuba.
CIA Director Alan Dulles, after hearing of American POWs during the Korean War allegedly being brainwashed by the Soviets, Chinese and North Koreans, on the 13th of April 1953 ordered the CIA to conduct a project. The project's aim was to develop mind-controlling drugs to combat the Soviet bloc's brainwashing program. Although Project MK-Ultra was the creation of Alan Dulles, it was however headed by Dr. Sidney Gottlieb. The United States Central Intelligence Agency gave this codename to a program of illegal experiments on human subjects. It was intended to produce a perfect truth drug to be used in interrogating suspected Soviet spies during the Cold War, and generally to explore other possibilities of mind control. Experiments were often conducted without the subject's knowledge or consent. Officially sanctioned in 1953, Project MK-Ultra engaged in many illegal activities for over a decade, despite going against the Nuremberg Code, which prohibits experimentation on human subjects without their consent. The experiments were carried out on an estimated thousands of US and Canadian citizens without their knowledge. Experiments included administering the drug, especially LSD, to CIA patients, military personnel, other government agents, prostitutes, mental patients, and members of the general public to study their reactions. The MK-Ultra activity is concerned with the research and development of chemical, biological, and radiological materials, capable of employment in clandestine operations to control human behavior. The cryptonym MK-Ultra encompasses the R&D phase, and a second cryptonym MK-Delta denotes the DDP system for control of the operational employment of such materials. Other sadistic methods were further undertaken, with the use of torturing victims by locking them in sensory deprivation chambers, make recordings of psychiatric patients' therapy sessions, and then play a tape loop of the patient's most self-degrading statement over and over through headphones after the patient had been restrained in a straitjacket and dosed with LSD. In some cases, subjects who volunteered were put to more horrific experiments where they were given LSD for 69 days straight. The scope of Project MK-Ultra was broad, with research undertaken at 80 institutions, including colleges and universities, hospitals, prisons, and pharmaceutical companies. In spite of the vast and extensive experiments being undertaken for years, there is no evidence to show that the CIA succeeded in controlling a person's actions through mind control techniques. LSD would eventually be dismissed as it proved too unpredictable, often resulting in the death of the patients from physical side effects of the drug combination, making interrogation impossible. MK-Ultra continued until 1963 before coming to a futile end. In the spring of 1963, John Vance, a member of the CIA Inspector General staff, learned about the project's surreptitious administration to unwitting, non-voluntary human subjects. This led to investigations about the effects of MK-Ultra. However, these investigative efforts were hampered when CIA Director Richard Helms ordered that all MK-Ultra files be destroyed in 1973. But while most of the files were destroyed, Investigations by both the Church Committee of the United States Congress and the Presidential Commission known as the Rockefeller Commission on CIA activities within the United States were carried on as they relied on witness testimonies, and also on the relatively small number of documents that survived Helm's destruction order. Project MK Ultra was first brought to public attention in 1975. Congressional hearings and the Rockefeller Commission report revealed that the CIA and the Department of Defense had conducted experiments on patients that did not even know they were taking part in a CIA mind-controlling program, through the use of LSD, barbiturates, and other chemical, biological, and psychological means which resulted in some horrific deaths. The most horrifying of the hearings was the death of Frank Olson. On the 28th of November 1953, Dr. Frank Olson, an Army scientist, committed suicide in a New York City hotel room. The CIA claimed Olson jumped through the window and fell 10 stories to his death due to a severe psychotic episode and work-related stress. Initially, Olson's family accepted the CIA's report, claiming that he fell from the window, but later, Olson's son disputed the version of events when he learned that his father was given LSD without his knowledge or consent during his employment by the CIA as a scientist in the Army Biological Lab in the 1950s. It was also during this time that Olson witnessed extreme interrogations by the CIA which led to the deaths of subjects using biological weapons that he developed, and due to this knowledge of the CIA's horrific doings, he believed that his father was murdered. However, the cause of death remained a mystery. In 1994, Frank Olson's body was exhumed, and results suggested that Olson suffered a blow to the head, being knocked unconscious before exiting the window. After the hearings, many survivors soon filed lawsuits against the CIA and the federal government for conducting illegal experiments. Frank Olson's family reached a settlement with the US government, and both President Ford and CIA Director William Colby apologized to Olson's family publicly. In 1992, 77 MK Ultra participants were awarded a settlement, though many more were denied any retribution because of how difficult it was for them to prove definitively that these secret experiments caused their mental anguish. While the government does not deny that the secret project and illegal experiments took place, due to the destruction of records, most of what transpired remains a mystery. Some surviving information regarding MK Ultra was declassified in July of 2001. The MK Ultra project is a dark, disturbing chapter in the history of the American intelligence agency. While the CIA is adamant that the experiments ceased in 1963 and all related experiments were abandoned, discussion surrounding the experiment today comes from conspiracy theorists. The secrecy surrounding the project and its ever-changing codenames led conspiracy theorists to believe that MK Ultra related projects are still taking place today. There is, of course, no way to be sure.